Thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. Our webinar today, we're focusing on a very interesting organization that's joining us, which is XRF. So today's presentation will show how XRF brings together drones, extended reality, and AI analytics into one-time real system for command and control. It sounds very technical, but we have a very interesting present with us today who will be breaking down all the technical aspects of this. And he will also be showing us, or will be exploring, how XRF helps teams see the bigger picture when it comes to going from chaos to clarity, which is also the title of the webinar today. Communicate more clearly and respond faster when it matters the most. So moving on to the presenter for today, we have one who is Jordan. Jordan is the project manager at XRF. He leads strategic initiatives and business development at XRF, driving innovation in crisis response solutions through technology integration. And joining him are also a few team members who will be here for throughout the presentation, as well as the discussion that we will be having towards the end. So we were also expecting to have Mr. Gustavo, who is the CEO of the XRF, but unfortunately today he won't be able to join us because he's a little caught up. So with that, I hand it over to you, Jordan, for the presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you for the introduction. I'm just gonna send the request to share my screen so I can get my slideshow up. You guys see that okay?
Yes, we can see.
So welcome everyone. Today's session is titled From Chaos to Clarity, Transforming Crisis Response with Drones, XR, and AI. So this talk is about how cutting-edge technology can truly reshape how we respond to disasters. Like Amrita said, I'm Jordan Tylam with XRF, the Extended Reality Factory, and our motto is simple: guiding decisions to a good end. So at XRF, we integrate three powerful technologies: drones, XR, or extended reality, and AI, what we like to call extended intelligence. So our goal is to bring these tools together into a real-time unified command and control system that helps decision makers act faster, smarter, and with more clarity, especially in high-stakes, resource-limited environments. We're especially excited to share how these solutions can empower responders across the global south, bringing order to the chaos of crisis. A big thank you to We Robotics for hosting this session, and to all of you, NGO workers, local first responders, tech innovators, for being here today. So let's dive right in. Before we talk solutions, let's of course start with the problem. So crisis response can be chaotic, as we all know. Say there's a major disaster, a hurricane, an earthquake, a volcanic eruption, or a flood. Suddenly, dozens of agencies and volunteers rush to help, but usually there's no shared game plan. Information comes in fragments: a radio call here, a social media post there. Maybe a drone team sends footage to one commander, but others are still completely in the dark. More often than not, responders make do simply with what they have. And sometimes that literally means using WhatsApp or walkie-talkies as their coordination hub. Take the 2021 La Palma volcano eruption in the Canary Islands, for example. During that response, authorities had to improvise an authorization system via WhatsApp to manage a sky absolutely crowded with drones. So they ended up approving more than 3,500 drone flight operations over just 3 months by juggling text messages. It was a crazy, heroic effort, but of course, incredibly challenging. And in many parts of the global south, I've personally seen responders rely on paper maps or group text simply because they don't have an integrated platform. And the result ends up being that there is gaps in situational awareness, delayed decisions, duplication of efforts, or even worse, critical oversights. So chaos costs time and chaos costs lives. And that's what we are here to help change. Our goal is to show how we can replace that chaos with clarity. So how do we actually do this, going from chaos to clarity? The answer lies in technology, but not just one tool. We're talking about a fusion of three: drones, XR, and AI. Together, they form what we like to call extended intelligence. And the idea is simple. So let machines do what they're best at, like fast data processing, real-time monitoring, and immersive visualization, so they can extend the abilities of human responders who bring experience, judgment, and context. So on this slide, we're showing a new paradigm for crisis response built on those three pillars. So first, drones. They act as our eyes in the sky, capturing live video, thermal imaging, maps, and more from above the disaster zone. Second, XR, or extended reality. That includes virtual reality, augmented reality, and it turns raw data into something visual and intuitive. So you can picture a shared 3D map where a field responder with a tablet and a commander at the headquarters are both looking at the same real-time situation. They can mark hazards, trace safe paths, even quote unquote walk through the scene virtually together. So XR makes the invisible visible. It helps people grasp the complexity by seeing it spatially. And third, AI, of course. This is the brain working behind the scenes. It analyzes drone feeds, sensor data, field inputs, and surfaces insights that humans easily might miss. So maybe it detects a threat, like an approaching mudslide, or an anomaly, like a person lying motionless in drone footage, and flagged instantly for review. So crucially, that this is all not about replacing humans. We call it extended intelligence because the AI is there to assist, not just override human judgment. The final decision still belongs to us. So this new paradigm, again, is about clarity, the right information, in the right format, to the right people, at the right time. And we believe this makes responders faster, smarter, and more confident without overwhelming them. So now I want to introduce you to us, XRF, the Extended Reality Factory. Who are we and why are we so passionate about this work? In one line, we support decision makers in complex scenarios. That's the foundation of everything we do. So our tagline, guiding decisions to a good end, really captures our mission. We exist to make sure that when someone is facing a crisis, whether it's a natural disaster or a security threat, that they have the right tools to guide their decisions toward the best possible outcomes. So what does that look like? Um, XRF builds real-time command and control solutions that merge extended reality with AI. So you can think of it as a portable, high-tech command centers that can be set up wherever they're needed. Our systems, they're designed to simplify complexity. We present critical information visually and intuitively so people can make sense of it quickly, even in high-pressure environments. We use AI to learn from the data in real time, maximizing options and ensuring that every decision is made with clarity and confidence. So we started in Spain just a few years ago, and we've already proven our tech in some of the most demanding environments. We've worked with the Spanish Ministry of Defense and Emergency Services, and we're recognized as a top 10 innovator at a NATO interoperability exercise, which essentially means our system could seamlessly plug into multinational drills. But beyond defense, our heart is in public good. So emergency response, disaster relief, protecting critical infrastructure, and things of that nature. So now we're focused on making these tools available and affordable to crisis responders everywhere, especially in the regions that need them most. We want to sort of bridge the gap so a local team in rural Asia or Africa or Latin America can access the same cutting edge coordination tools as a command center in a developed country, for example. So what does our solution look like in the field? So again, you can picture what we call a deployable distributed command post. So it's a portable high-tech center you can set up wherever it's needed, a disaster zone, a temporary shelter, or a mobile HQ. It's distributed, meaning it connects everyone from top level commanders to frontline teams into one unified network. So our system operates across three levels. So we have the strategic level for managing multi-agency coordination, an operational level for running day-to-day response, and a tactical level for teams on the ground. So everyone shares the same real-time picture, whether they're using a multi-touch laptop, table, or VR headset, or even a mobile app, no matter where they are in the world. And because it is portable, it can run on local servers or laptops, meaning it works even with limited or even no internet, which is critical in many global south or post-disaster environments. Our AI engine, which I'll dive uh, into more detail soon, can also run entirely on premises. So the brain of the system travels with you. And again, the goal is simple, simplify complexity. Instead of spreadsheets or scattered radio chatter, you get clear visual maps, alerts, zones, threat markers, all designed to give you an immediate understanding at a glance. So we're going to get a little more granular with our products here. I'm going to start at the top with the strategic level of our system. So this is XRF Colossus. This is our immersive command center interface. It's typically a large multi-touch tabletop display that senior leaders gather around like a high-tech war room table, but it's flexible because it can also run on a browser-based application on a laptop or a tablet. So whether you're in a permanent ops center or a pop-up field HQ, Colossus will adapt. Um, and why a table, you might ask? Because in real crisis, leaders often gather around physical maps to plan and strategize. Colossus essentially takes that familiar experience and digitizes it, turning it into a live, interactive map that everyone can engage with at once. So you can pan, zoom, overlay drone feeds, track assets, all with your fingertips. It's fully multi-user and collaborative. So one person can mark an evacuation zone while another highlights a new hazard all in real time. Um, the purpose of Colossus is to give commanders that real-time strategic oversight at a glance so they can see team locations, asset and infrastructure statuses, and evolving risks and priorities. And because it pulls in feeds from the operational and tactical layer, leadership stays fully synced with what's happening on the ground, which you'll see more here in a second in the following slides. So in a flood response, for example, you've got the disaster lead, the police chief, and the NGO coordinator all around the interface, viewing a live map, streaming drone footage, and seeing team updates in real time. So they can tap icons to get statuses, sketch new routes, or rewind recent events to understand how things unfolded. And this kind of shared situational awareness we've seen empowers confident and informed decisions like reassigning teams, closing zones, or calling for outside support based on the most current visual data available. So at the bottom line, Colossus gives leadership eyes on everything and the ability to plan, adapt, and lead in real time. So zooming in to the operational level where the real-time coordination and day-to-day decision making comes more alive is XRF Sandbox. This is where XRF Sandbox comes in. Our immersive XR native environment allows responders to see, share, and shape the mission in real time. So we call it Sandbox because it's exactly that, a space where teams can pull in live data and play out scenarios together, not on paper, not on a table, not on flat screens, but inside a fully virtual world. And to be clear on that point, XRF Sandbox is not a standard application. It's a fully immersive platform designed exclusively for VR and AR headsets like the Meta Quest 3, Apple Vision Pro, HoloLens, and other XR devices. So what it actually does is first, it's a multi-source data fusion hub inside the sandbox. You can essentially bring together any type of data, live drone video feeds, GPS tracking from field teams, satellite imagery, environmental sensor data, social media alerts, GIS layers like elevation, flood zones, road networks, infrastructure grids, and again, really any available visual data or data that can be visualized. So normally all of this lives in different places like radio chatter, dashboards, spreadsheets, sandbox unifies it all into a shared 3D environment that everyone sees in real time. It becomes your single source of operational truth and accessible right through the headset. Um, it's also primarily built for collaboration. So multiple users from different cities, agencies, countries, even continents can enter into the same virtual map, much like a Zoom meeting, and coordinate as if they're standing side by side. So here's a part that we're really excited about is that within the sandbox, users can launch and pilot drones directly inside the VR headset. So you can step into the mission, see what the drone sees, and from within the same view, you can actually deploy the drone, control its flight, and monitor the live feed without ever even taking off the headset, which, it pretty huge leap in responsiveness and situational awareness with that feature. Um, and finally, Sandbox supports training and real-time simulation. So you can run the what if scenarios like what happens if this bridge collapses, or what's our backup plan if the evacuation route floods. So you can explore and rehearse these situations ahead of time. So if they happen, you're not starting from scratch. Yeah, and to sum it up, Sandbox is the operational command environment entirely in VR AR. Then now we're going to look at the tactical layer. So this is built for the people on the ground actively navigating the crisis. For them, we built Apollo. It's a mobile app that keeps field teams fully connected to mission control, no matter where they are or what conditions they're facing. So Apollo runs on standard mobile devices, smartphones, tablets, or rugged gear, and it works both online and offline so that if a team enters a network dead zone, they still have access to maps, tasks, and can store data until that connection returns. So Apollo essentially has many features, but key ones are sharing live GPS locations of the units on the ground with command posts. It allows responders to send photos, videos, and live stream footage directly from the field. It supports real-time tasking, status updating, and AI-generated hazard alerts, and enables direct lightweight messaging to reduce radio congestion. So all of this data, location, media, movement flows into Sandbox and Colossus, giving command visual understanding of the field environment. So from HQ's perspective, Apollo becomes the digital extension of every field team. Command can track units in real time, view incoming feeds, assign new tasks, and quickly reroute resources based on the live conditions and data they're getting from Apollo users. Crucially, Apollo is designed for accessibility, so it can run on basic Android phones, no XR headset required, making it ideal for local volunteers and frontline workers in the global south, ensuring that they're part of the same high-tech ecosystem using the tools they already have. So the interface is intuitive, big buttons, clear alerts, simple, useful, and no extra gear required. So in practice, Apollo ensures every responder is connected, informed, and contributing, not just simply following orders, but enhancing the collective intelligence of the entire operation. Now, to glue it all together, since we've explored the strategic, operational, and tactical layers of our system, let's look at what powers them behind the scenes. So this is XRF Hermes, our real-time AI engine, and what we call the brain, heart, and guts of the XRF ecosystem. So Hermes ingests everything flowing through the platform, drone video, GPS positions, field reports, sensor data, weather feeds, even social media signals, and makes sense of it all in real time. So it can run in the cloud or locally or on a secure on-premises server if needed, depending on the connectivity and mission requirements, of course. But this flexibility makes Hermes ideal for both connected and disconnected environments. And what it actually does is um, a few key things. So real-time data fusion, Hermes will stitch together live data streams into a single operational picture. So if a drone, a sensor, and a field report all point to the same threat, Hermes will flag it instantly. So it has that threat detection and risk analysis capability where it is continuously scanning for anomalies like sudden gas spikes, weather shifts, or unauthorized movements, helping teams act before that risk escalates. It also does predictive modeling. So Hermes simulates future outcomes. For example, where will a wildfire spread? Which evacuation route will flood first? It then visualizes these projections directly into Sandbox, Colossus, and Apollo, highlighting those critical areas before they become real problems. Um, Decision support, and here's where the extended intelligence really shows up. So Hermes offers recommendations in natural language, like, for example, evacuation route A is likely to be cut off, recommended switching to route B, or air quality in zone X is deteriorating, advise pulling teams without respirators. So these aren't necessarily commands, they're decision aids. So humans are always staying in control, but start with smarter, faster options. And it's constantly evolving, so it's learning and adapting over time. Hermes will learn from team decisions. So if a recommendation is consistently overridden, Hermes adapts while still servicing critical warnings when needed. And when running on premises, Hermes keeps all sensitive data secure and offline, ideal again for disconnected ops or missions requiring tight control or maybe even classified information. So you can think of Hermes as your AI analyst and safety officer, which is tirelessly watching, interpreting, projecting, and advising. It really does help teams not just see what's happening now, but anticipate what's coming next. And that's how we move from data overload to clarity and action. So very relevant to We Robotics and Flying Labs. I just want to quickly shift the focus to drones. Of course, a cornerstone of modern emergency response and a key layer in the XRF ecosystem. So drones are our eyes in the sky. They give us real-time visibility and aerial data from areas too dangerous, too vast, or even too remote for ground teams. And in XRF, drones aren't just add-ons, they're deeply embedded into the mission architecture. So whether it's a compact quadcopter launched by a volunteer or a long-range fixed-wing drone mapping terrain, their data streams directly into Sandbox, Colossus, and Apollo, which means that leadership, analysts, and field teams are all seeing what the drone sees in real time. So if a drone, for example, is carrying a thermal camera, gas sensor, or zoom optics, those inputs appear as overlays like heat maps or warning zones, or even like alert icons on the shared operational picture. Everyone's just working from the same up-to-date intelligence, not just the drone pilot. So we're not just watching the drones, we're controlling them. So from within Sandbox, users can dispatch drones to precise coordinates, redirect missions on the fly, and even pilot drones in FPV or first person view, flying virtually through the drone's eyes. This allows commanders and XR users to hover over the scene, navigate terrain intuitively, and make faster, better informed decisions as if they were physically there at the disaster site. Um, Drones can, of course, also handle data delivery and light logistics. So dropping communication relays or medkits, deploying sensors into dangerous zones, filling gaps where traditional resources fall short. So Apollo users, the users in the field with the mobile app will be able to directly request resources that Colossus and Sandbox users can take in and deploy drones to drop those resources for them. And Hermes, our AI engine, of course, is always watching. It's processing all this drone footage in real time, spotting heat signatures, flagging anomalies, and even suggesting response priorities based on movement, temperature shifts, or gas readings. And all of this is layered together. The drone video, GPS location, sensor data, team position, GIS overlays, creating one unified real-time picture of what's happening above and below. So in short, drones in XRF aren't just some sort of side asset. They're scouts, sensors, messengers, and real-time collaborators. And we've built the ecosystem to ensure that every pixel they capture gets shared, analyzed, and acted on in the moment as it matters most. So I just want to look at a brief case study of the La Palma volcano eruption in 2021 that XRF was involved in. So in September 2021, the La Palma volcano erupted and did not stop for 85 days, nearly 3 months of ash, lava, and uncertainty, an entire island in turmoil. At, at the time, emergency coordination was difficult, so decision makers were spread across Madrid, Tenerife, and La Palma, and they were sharing data over email, making long trips just to sit around the same table. That's when we introduced an early version of what would become XRF. So it wasn't the full system that I've presented today, but it was enough to prove how transformative a shared platform could be. So even with the limited tools, it helped centralize maps, GPS, and meteorological data into one real-time dashboard. So teams in different cities could finally operate from the same picture. Um, that validation changed the trajectory of our company because from that moment on, we started building what is now the XRF ecosystem. And today, the emergency management system of La Palma runs on XRF tools. So now, with the platform fully emerged, here's what's possible. Drones flying over, lava flows can stream directly into a shared XR map. Commanders and field responders can stand inside a 3D model of the disaster in real time, even from different locations. Hermes, our AI engine, can detect anomalies like new fissure openings and immediately suggest updated evacuation routes. And Apollo keeps field teams synced even in low connectivity zones, feeding live reports and positioning data straight into the command interface. So the La Palma volcano was a turning point. It didn't just inspire the system, but it showed us what was missing: a unified, fast, and intuitive way to coordinate under pressure. So we haven't faced another volcano since, thankfully, but today with Colossus, Sandbox, Apollo, and Hermes, we're ready, and not just to visualize a crisis, but to actually help responders act faster, smarter, and safer when it matters most. So to start to wrap it up, one of the most important themes today and at the heart of XRF's mission is empowering local responders with cutting-edge tools. We believe technology shouldn't just belong to wealthy institutions. It should be usable, trainable, and scalable for communities who face crisis every year and often do the most with the least. So XRF is designed to be user-friendly without sacrificing capability. With minimal training, local teams can set up and run a high-tech command post on their own with no experts needed. So visual, intuitive interfaces, maps, icons, simple drag and drop tools make it accessible across language and tech backgrounds. With XRF, communities respond faster and more effectively, reducing losses and speeding recoveries. So Sandbox's training and simulation modes let these teams rehearse scenarios, so when a real crisis hits, they're ready. Um, and we designed our products for real world constraints, so limited internet, older hardware, and diverse languages. Again, Apollo works fully offline if needed. Hermes runs locally without cloud reliance if needed, and XRF integrates with existing radios, CCTV, and GIS tools, so responders can start with what they have and scale from there. Um, Again, we're not replacing decision makers, we're amplifying them. With drones, XR overlays, and AI insights in their hands, local responders lead their own operations, not wait outside for help. So our vision is clear. Technology like drones, XR, and AI belongs in the hands of those facing the crisis, not just behind desks in capital cities. So when local teams are trained, equipped, and empowered, they don't just respond faster, but we believe they transform response into resilience. So to wrap up, just want to come back to the problem we started with, chaos, the reality of fragmented, reactive crisis response. Today, hopefully you've seen how XRF brings together drones, XR, and AI to create a real-time integrated command environment. It's not tech just for tech's sake. It's about helping people make better, faster decisions when the stakes are highest. You've seen how Colossus, Sandbox, Apollo, and Hermes fit together to simplify complexity across strategic, operational, and tactical levels. These tools are already proven in defense and national security, and now we're focusing on building toward the civilian and humanitarian space. So we haven't deployed XRF in the global south, but that's honestly where we believe it could have a huge impact. So at our core, it's a simple mission: support better decisions, give people clarity, context, and a shared view, and you enable faster, more confident action when it counts. So if you're working in disaster response, humanitarian aid, or crisis coordination, we'd love to collaborate, whether it's training, testing, or integration, because tech alone isn't the solution. Empowered people with the right tools are. And that's what XRF is here for. So thank you so much for the time and the work that you do.